Wonders the say shall never end. So, upon everything Maje did to Toke Makinwa, somebody in the industry has been dating him for the past 4 years. Guess who that person is? Bevely Osu. These women and steady trying to play heroes in the lives of men who have proven to be terrible. So let's read the
So
exclusive
for the
from
past 3 to 4 years, until recently, I think somewhere last year, actress Bevely Osu and Toke Makinwa's ex, Maje, have been in what we call serious relationship. The relationship lasted for almost 4 years. Omo Bevely saw Pepe in the hands of Maje, as usual. So she saw Pepe in the hands of Maje and his battalion of baby mamas, from being a Casanova to issues with baby mamas, and sometimes Beverly had to bail him small, small financially because his baby mamas were not having it. From our sources, there were occasions Bev would receive hateful and threatening messages from some of Maje's girlfriends and baby mamas. Like Maje will leave Beverly's place, and in the next few hours, you will see him carrying another babe. Those ones were not for relationships, but for flings. Wonders they say shall never end. Imagine a broke man being a flirt. Terrible. So let's continue. Toke also got wind of Bev and her ex-husband's relationship, and it became so awkward, especially since both ladies were in the entertainment industry. Like, you cannot leave Beverly and Toke in the same room for more than 30 minutes.
They will not physically fight, but the atmosphere will just become awkward. According to Bev's camp, didn't know Maje was Toke's ex until much later when she was already mad in love with him. Now I have to interject here. Beverly is actually a liar. There is no how on earth Beverly, I mean, they are both in the same industry. I mean, Toke and her ex-husband's split was viral. It was such a sensational gist. It was in the press for the longest time. It was so messy. She wrote a book about her marriage, how the man gave her STDs and how much of a flirt he was in the course of the marriage and how she did a lot to save the marriage. There is no how Beverly didn't know that guy was Toke's ex. I mean, she can tell us that she thought he was a changed man, and I will buy the story. But say she didn't know, that's a lie because come on, even people that are not in the industry are aware, let alone an industry girl. No, girl, you failed at this. So back to the gist. Well, fast forward, Bev did everything to keep the relationship very secret from we online in-laws. We don't suffer. To the extent some of Maje's baby mamas used it against her whenever they had issues with Maje. People like Derele, etc. kept advising Beverly to get out of the relationship. Some of the details say Maje will give Bev broken hearts. They will resolve. Then Maje will do again until one day Bev had the courage to leave. I wanted to give the G's that time, but she was too broken. You can imagine Cutie, considerate blogger. Oshe. So I wanted to give the gist that time, but she was too broken then. So my conscience didn't allow me because that would have been like adding to it. But I'm glad she's healed now. But Ini and especially Derele helped Bev in her transition period. If not, Bev would have been on some medication for her side. It be like Maje self, kilo. Abeg, maybe Toke should forgive and give Bev closure because according to close sources, Bev didn't know Maje is Toke's ex. And besides, Toke and Maje have broken up since Bev only came into the pic about 4 years ago. Oh well, this is Toke and her ex-husband when the going was good. This is Toke and her ex-husband on her wedding day. So now let me say this. There is this I don't like the way some women act. Anyway, for your information, Majes Camp actually replied. I will talk about that later. So you see the thing, there is this thing women do that leaves me in shock. No matter how bad a man is, you see a woman trying so hard to fit in. I mean, somebody married FFK, somebody married Dino Milaye, somebody married Ubi Franklin. Someone somewhere will marry a useless man with the thought of trying to change him. So don't be surprised. The likes of Tristan, Chris Brown, we have ladies queuing to marry them. I mean, like it's women and they are obsessed with marriage. So you see, sometimes I say to people don't change overnight too. So if you think you're that woman who will become a hero, oh, he met me and changed, please, you need to have a rethink, because why will you date someone because you think he's a strong man and you can tame them? Trust me, the broom he used to hit the first wife is the same broom he also used to hit you. So Beverly is constantly in various violent relationships. I remember when a musician Too Short's wife called him out for battery. I mean, Beverly came out at a point to say no, he doesn't beat her, blah blah blah. I mean, after the marriage ended and the wife called him out, lo and behold, years down the line, Beverly came out to cry that Too Shorts was abusive. So I don't know. Like, I strongly believe that I don't believe experience is the best teacher. I believe you can learn from the experience of others. You don't have to experience something to learn your lessons. So women need to do better. I mean, if you know this man that has a history of being flirtatious, he has a history of being untamed, and then you go on to marry him, just like Lily and Esoro married Ubi Franklin. I mean, we all knew what Ubi Franklin did to Naira, an artist who was in his label, and he was also dating her. He beat her so much that even after she broke up, she talked about it. And Lillian still went on to date him. And I heard he was also abusive to her, which she never confirmed or denied. So women need to do better. Honestly, we really need to do better. When you see that man, don't say, okay, no, he's going to treat me better. I'm different. My dear, you are not different. You are just as good as any other person. And he will treat you the same way he's treated his exes. So I mentioned earlier that, of course, Maje's camp reached out to Cutie, the blogger who broke this exclusive gist. And here is what they have to say. Trust me, they threw her under the bus as expected. Omo, Maje's scam saying Maje's problem with Bev is Bev's addiction to Igbo. Igbo is weed. And the thing they vex me, sha. According to Maje's camp, even though he himself smokes Igbo, so he tried so that Beverly will cut down her own, according since she was the woman in the relationship. Wonderful. According to them, Bev told Maje that it's going to be very difficult since she started on cigarettes since she was 16. But on the flip side, there has been several occasions when Maje take Igbo with him when visiting Bev so they can both smoke it. Our man never takes food with him. Oh, Omo, I am not taking sides, but if you know our babe is an addict, why don't you also stop so she can learn from you? After all, Maje is more than 20 years older than Bev. Well, Maje said when Bev is high, bedroom gets exhausting for him as a man that is knacking as a man that is knacking requests gets too much. As in Bev one knack almost the whole time. Abeg, I dey vex gang. I can't write more. Maybe I need to cool off and come back. Bottom line is, but Bev left and Omo make I go clear my head and come back. You see this life. See how they just threw her under the bus. Now they've called her like an Igbo addict, saying that she takes lots of weed, and after taking so much weed, her libido gets really high and he gets exhausted from so much sex request. Like, this is pretty hilarious and annoying at the same time, because look at how he has just exonerated himself, his friends trying, or his team trying so hard to make Bev look like the crazy one. See why these men, you must never give them attention. Once you know a man has a history for being a foolish man or more clear road, trust me, you are not going to make him change, except you are sure that he has actually sought help. Because the thing with a proper Nigerian man is this: they don't believe they have issues from one relationship to the other. They don't bother asking, what is it that I did wrong? Okay, let me get help before I go into another relationship. Of course, because there are thousands, hundreds of women queuing up and waiting to date them. Trust me, you see this whole story, I find it pretty hilarious. And of course, I do not have a single sympathy to give Beverly. She deserved everything that came her way. Since she get coconut head, body don't tell am. Hopefully, she has learned her lessons. So tell me what you think. Do you think Beverly sincerely didn't know Maje was Toke Makinwa'S ex-husband? Let me know in the comment section.